Hello everyone, I am Streetback Guy and welcome to this video tutorial on how to run Skull Island Rise of Kong, any percent. So we'll just get started and I'll explain things along the way. So we just start a new game, and normally the time would start at the beginning of that a load screen at the start. And yeah, here we are. You want to hold down A to skip all the cutscenes after every load. Here's beautiful Kong, as you can see. Beautiful Mama Kong. So what you want to do is you want to run and jump all the way to this rock that I'm going towards. And now you want to jump here, jump here, jump here, and then jump up here. And that's just a little faster way to get up rather than the way over here. So now we'll just keep running and jumping along here. Jump, and then we'll do a blam attack on the ground to animation cancel, and we are going to jump up into this tree. It's a little bit finicky, so if you don't get it first time, don't worry. There is a way to just jump straight up to the place where you need to go, like here, by just jumping on the bottom, but you can just wedge yourself in the tree and then jump up from there. So while you're here, you're going to want to hold down LT or left trigger, and I am going to be using a controller during all this, so I'll be referring to controller buttons, not mouse and keyboard, unfortunately. But here you want to hold down LT or left trigger, and then hold down A, and what you want to do is you want to aim to about here, to this black spot on the cliff. And when you release A while still holding down left trigger, Kong will leap, and then you'll just land on this little lip here. And now that you're here, you want to hold down LT and left trigger again, whichever one it is, and you're going to want to jump up on top of this waterfall to skip quite a bit of the tutorial. Be careful where you aim for both landing on the waterfall and that little lip over there, because if you aim too much to the left, you'll bump into the wall and slide right off and you won't be able to make the jump. So now we're just going to continue on the tutorial as normal for a little bit. So there's not much to say here, but I do want to give shout outs quickly during this tutorial to Swede, Echo, Prophet Black, Schmumbler, and anyone else who's run this game, because it's been a phenomenal first week, and yeah, without them this 80% wouldn't be what it is. Okay, so now here we are at vines, and for vines what you want to do is you want to jump neutrally, which is just jumping without pushing forward on the left stick. So we'll jump onto the vine, then neutral, and then we're at the top. I'm going to jump back down, and I'm going to do it with mashing A and holding forward so you can see the difference. They are shorter jumps, which is not ideal. You want to be at the apex of your jump and then hold forward on your jump, and then you'll get up vines quite a bit quicker. Okay, so now we're just going to shoulder dash with left bumper or LB, I think it is. LB, L1. And we're going to go over to these guys over here, and we're just going to let them attack us for quite a bit. Because at the end of this tutorial is a boss fight that you are scripted to lose, and by lowering our health we will finish the fight a bit quicker. Just make sure not to die there, otherwise you will have to start again, which is unfortunate. Also, you have to time your shoulder charges so that you get good rhythm, because if you don't and end up mashing it, you'll get a slight delay usually after each one, which is not ideal. Okay, so now we're going to jump up onto this rock, and usually over there you'll see that glowing red rock. You'll want to headbutt that normally, but here we jump up on this rock over here, and then we're going to leap onto this rock here, and then from this rock neutral jump up here, and now we're out of bounds. We can't jump straight down because there's an invisible wall, so we have to go around. So we're just going to continue going around out of bounds in a specific way. That trick might look a bit tricky, but that is actually one of the easiest skips in this whole tutorial phase, so don't worry about it too much. Again, it's all about practice and just getting the hang of Kong. So now this part, we come to a bit of a dead end, but not to worry. We will just jump, and halfway down, we'll do a ground slam to animation cancel. And we're going to keep on jumping. Jumping till the cows come home. Okay, so again, shoulder charge to get some distance. Shoulder charging, if you time it correctly, is a bit faster than sprinting and jumping in certain areas. But you don't want to do it all the time if possible. It's mainly good in straight, flat areas where there are no enemies that can get in your way, because if you hit an enemy while shoulder charging, you will stop briefly because you stun them. Okay, so we'll get to this point. This point I'm out of bounds, you'll know because of the tree. And what we're going to do is we are going to go to the edge and just jump off. And animation cancel a stumbling animation once we land. Then we'll jump off this rock. And what we're going to do is we're going to shoulder charge all the way to the next set of vines. And we're going to climb up because that's where Gore is located. Who is Gore, you ask? Oh, they kill Kong's parents. Spoiler alert, but who really cares? So the reason, like I said earlier, the reason that we lowered our health earlier was because it makes this scripted fight go a bit quicker. So you want to run to Gore, jump so you get hit, and then that's the tutorial done.
The last sort of he wanted to take.
And again, we want to skip all these cutscenes. And now we're in the next area, the Waterfalls Valley. So here we are going to, from the start, go to the right, go to these rocks, jump on any of these rocks here that you could jump on, and then you can just jump over here. It saves a small bit of time compared to just going down, jumping around the curve, but that's fine. So we'll continue on, and there are crabs up here that if you are shoulder charging through this area, you can hit and slow you down. So you just want to be careful of that and take note of their positions. Like, see right there, I stunned him and that cost me some movement. So we're going to keep on going, and we're going to ignore everything along the way because we are going to go straight ahead through that chasm. And in this chasm there is going to be a crab fight. Shocking, I know. Normally when you play casually you'll have to defeat these crabs, but because it's a speedrun we can skip them. There are two ways to do it after you do this initial skip. So I'm just going to jump on this rock, jump over here, up please. This jump can be a bit tricky, so try and aim for this little nook. And then you can slightly walk on thin air, and you want to jump up to that rock over there. Easy. Again, this is a jump that will require some practice, but once you get it down, it's not a problem. Okay, so now that we're on this ledge, once you jump up here, you'll be facing this way. You're going to want to turn around, and I'm going to sprint jump just to be safe, and you can jump over here. And now we're back to our old friends, the trees. I'm going to jump up here, once I can get it. Oh, you saw it there. Okay, now we're on this tree. Jump up here, and we're going to run all along this way and past the waterfall. Right, there is a way you can skip it here. You can go up the vines over there and jump up to an out of bounds area, which I will show in a bit, but there is another way here, which again uses a tree. Let's see if I can do it, because I actually haven't done this method before. I usually do the vines method. I just had it. Great. Okay. So now we're just going to jump up these rocks. Or not, apparently. Up on this route, and try not to get stuck along the way, because that would suck. Oh, well, okay. There is a way you can do it by jumping up rocks over there, but I can't do it because I haven't really practiced it enough, because I usually do these vines. So the vines here, you can jump up here, wide jump there to try and avoid the last vines. And this is the final set of vines in this area after the crab fight. What you want to do is neutral jump on top of this branch, jump up here, and then you want to neutral jump and hold forward on your joystick. So you'll get to this little ledge here. And then from here we can go out of bounds quite easily. So again, neutral jump and move here. Jump here. Jump here. Jump here onto this tree stem. And then over here you can jump. And there'll be a set of steps that'll lead up to the top of here, which is lovely. If you were to take the other way, it will take you over the tops of the cliffs over there, but again, I haven't practiced this, so I can't show you, unfortunately. Right, so here, below us is a rock wall that you're meant to destroy with headbutts, but we're not going to do that. We don't learn that at all. So what we're going to do instead is we are just going to drop down here and jump. And if you jump far enough, you'll avoid that that tutorial prompt, but it's not to worry. It's only like a couple of seconds lost there. But now we're actually on our way to the first proper boss of the game, not counting Gore, because Gore sucks. So we're just going to avoid all the enemies here. And what we're going to do is we are going to go fight Geisha, which is this big worm. So we're going to go dash immediately and start wailing into Geisha with light attacks. And what you want to do is you want to watch out for his telegraphed attacks and avoid them where possible. So what he's doing right now is he's burrowing and bringing up a rock. To make it a bit quicker, you can stand on the spot where he's buried, which is fine. We've got 2 rocks like this, so now we'll stand here and we'll just keep wailing into him with light melee attacks. See what that does is a rock will stun him and you can get off quite a bit of damage. And the reason we've got 2 rocks is so that we could pretty much go straight into the second phase, because after this he will swing himself again and hit that rock. Perfect, so now we just keep hitting. Now there will be a mid-fight cutscene, so be prepared to skip that. Here we go, phase 2. So to make this a bit quicker, stand over here where he pops up. Now in this phase he's a bit more aggressive and he will charge, he will spin immediately. But once he comes over here, you can roar, and that skips this little part of phase 2. Now over here, dash away when it looks like it's going to spin. Stand here, and he is going to do a rock attack, so now you can just run around because the rocks don't stun him anymore. But when he hits the rocks, it will reset his spin animation. And when he's standing straight up like that, he's going to slam into the ground to try and stun you and damage you, so watch out for that. Oh, and if you get hit by a rock, that happens as well. Again, if you need health, there is a health flower over there, as you can see in the background. Couldn't need it right now because he just pretty much good as dead at this point. Just got to be careful about the rock. And Geisha is now dead. Perfect. That's a pretty decent Geisha fight. Again, the best Geisha fights are ones where you don't get stunned as often and you get the 2 rocks at the beginning. So now we're going to go to the next area, which is the Wetlands. And this part's kind of fun. It is pretty much a big, all big one out of bounds area. So first of all, shout out to Swede for discovering Swede Skip, which allowed us to go from this area right to the final area of the game. And then Echo, who improved upon that to actually get us out of bounds even more, so we could actually skip the first ascension event in this area, which makes it possible to bypass a barrier. So I'll show you that in a second. I'm just going to quickly pause the recording because that's something I need to do. Okay, I'm back. I ended up not pausing the recording and I accidentally stopped recording, so this is going to be edited in, but that's fine. So here we are on the wetlands. We're just going to start dashing over here. We're going to dash all the way towards those vines in the background. And on the way, after the cutscene to the event, we're going to grab that flower just for safety. You don't need to, but it's nice to have just in case. So we're going to jump up those vines, jump over here. And now we are going to jump on this little ledge here. Neutral jump up here. Keep jumping up. And there we are. We're now out of bounds. Again, that's a jump that can take quite a bit of practice, but it shouldn't be too bad. And especially if you watch out for the bird enemies, then you'll be fine. Again, mainly dash charging across this large out of bounds area is the fastest way to do it. You can sprint and jump, but it does lose you a few seconds. But we are just going to keep going straight forward, and if you follow the path I go, you'll be fine. Although towards the end of this area, we are going to drop down onto the cliff to the area that actually leads to the Wasteland, which is the final area of the game. You see a flower over there, that's good. So once that flower is there, we'll just keep on going. And we're going to head slightly towards those trees. And then just turn to the right a bit. Keep on dashing past. And you're going to want to watch out for this hole, because as you can see, it's deep, and if you go in there, the run's basically over. So we're going to continue past. And one thing you might note is that there are some invisible walls up here which can impede your progress when you try to jump down from the cliff down there. So you're just going to want to find an area that will let you drop down no problem. One such area is just around here, pretty much. Dash straight off, and now we'll just continue on as normal. There may or may not be enemies further up ahead. Okay, there are enemies. Sometimes they don't spawn in, which is nice if they don't, but you'll want to watch their positions, because if they're too close to these trees when you're dashing past, you can again hit them and get stunned for a little bit. Anyway, this red mist brings us to the Wasteland, the final area of the game. So we're just going to go ahead as normal, jump over these rock formations, and we are going to neutral jump up here. Perfect. And we're going to dash over to this little hill here, and we are going to jump up. Jump over this rock and around this little corner, and we are going to neutral jump twice. And we haven't really skipped anything just yet, but here is another skip, one that's actually quite tricky, because this ledge is quite particular. So you want to jump so you land on this ledge. So don't go fully towards it if you can help it, and you'll land on it just fine. But now you want to neutral jump and try to wiggle your way onto that ledge up there. So it was close, but again, that's fine. Alright, so now that we're here, if you jump over here, there is a little ledge here, and then you can just jump straight across. And that skips quite a bit of vine climbing on the other side of the map, over there, which is quite a bit of a pain to do, but you know, time save is time save. Now, going across these big branches, or whatever they are, don't be afraid to sprint jump where you can. I wouldn't recommend shoulder charging, because it's more likely that you're just going to dash off the edge, and you're going to have to do that part all over again. Right, so here is an explosive flower that that will hit you no matter what, so you can just charge through it or sprint jump through it. Doesn't matter. And be careful not to get stunned by these spiders, because that is time loss. And we are just going to make our way through this cave like normal, or as normal as we can get, you know, being speedrunners and all. One thing about this run is movement can be optimized to get better time. So if you find a route that you don't know if anyone else is doing, but you think it saves some good time, then go for it. Never be afraid to experiment, is what I say when it comes to speedrunning. Okay, you can shoulder dash through this little desert part, but be careful of those twigs on the ground back there, because you can hit them with your shoulder charge and it will stop prematurely. And again, this area, there are enemies around. and explosive flowers, so you want to be careful to try not hit them if you can help it. Either that or you can sprint jump through this whole area, doesn't matter. Okay, so previously this fight we used to have to do, but now there is a skip to get past the barrier that's up here, which is absolutely fantastic because it saves a lot of time and it makes the run not as risky anymore. So we're up this hill right next to the barrier. I'm just going to be careful of the enemies if I can, and we're going to jump up onto this rock and try and get our run animation if we can help it. Run please, Kong. There we go. And we're going to jump onto that rock that I just missed. Let's try that again. And try not to get bullied. I'm going to have to go grab a health flower just in case. Again, if you don't get these jumps first try, I'm going to keep on saying this. Practice is your best friend. They're not that hard once you get the hang of them, but sometimes you can still mess them up. Okay, so now we jump over this rock, we land on it, and now we're going to jump slightly to our left, land on this rock, land on this rock. We can jump straight up to this rock. And now from here, it's a simple case of just going right, jumping up here. But now we're stopped by an invisible wall, so what we're going to do is we're going to jump forward a little bit, and now, as you can see, we're floating on mid-air. Kong is majestic. But yeah, we've just skipped that entire fight sequence, and now we are on our way to the final boss. So again, you can shoulder dash up this hill, and you have to stop at a certain point because of those plates on the ground there. That's fine, sprint and jump over them. And this is now the final boss. It's Gore again from the tutorial, but we are going to cheese him in a way. When this run first started, we actually beat him using combos, or her, sorry, Gore's girl. We beat Gore using combos, but now we're going to use some cheese. So we're going to run back towards the entrance, jump on this rock briefly, and then jump over here. And that kind of gets Gore stuck, so now all we're going to do is use R2 and L2. Oh, okay, Gore jumped up, so let's try that again, without messing up too bad. Looks like I waited too long and Gore got up there, which can happen, and it is a shame if it does happen, but not much you can do. Again, so we are just going to spam R2 in a rhythmic fashion to throw rocks at Gore. Again, there is going to be a mid-fight cutscene, so be prepared to skip that. And this process itself takes about a minute or so, but it's definitely faster than just trying to beat Gore with combos and melee attacks, especially because Gore roars all the time, which stuns you for an unhealthy amount of time. If you're lucky though, after this cutscene, you might not get Gore roar. I didn't there, which is good. That means the AI is kind of too fascinated with that wall to care about roaring. But sometimes she can still roar and stun you for a few seconds. It's a bit unlucky if that happens, but it's not the end of the world. So yeah, we're just going to keep on pelting her rocks, and then once her health hits 0 and the final cutscene plays, that will be when time is cool. And time. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope this was somehow informative to learning Rise of Kong any percent run. I've been Street Bad Guy, and if you want more help or want to find some tricks or glitches, feel free to join us on the Kong Discord. It's linked on the speedrun.com page, and we'd love to have you and see some more runners. So yes, thank you very much, and let me know what you think. Happy Konging, everyone.